My older brother, Mike Levy, also known as Meyer, started trading futures, silver futures, back in 1982. He was first a jewelry dealer here in Los Angeles, and he noticed that he kind of had a knack for the pattern of silver and gold prices. So he learned about futures trading, started trading futures, and did very well for a while. And then, like many clients, many traders, he rode the wave up very nicely, but did not know how to get out when the market went down. And after regrouping, he decided he's going to work as a commodity broker. And that's back in the 80s, much different environment than today. So he started as a commodity broker, worked for a few years, and then he decided he's going to open his own company. And in 1988, he started Cannon Trading in Beverly Hills on Cannon, right by Cannon Drive. Keep in mind, this is my older brother. This is my senior year in high school. And he starts here. A few of his colleagues came with him, and a few other people joined him. I want to say there were probably 8 people to start. It was a cold calling business back then. It was not the business that we know. That within a few years, the internet started. And my brother had the insight to purchase some very lucrative domain names and get started with the internet before many of the competition did, or many people, period. At that point, this is early 90s, I'm playing basketball in Israel after I graduated college, and he's here in the United States. In 1995, I blew up my knee. I'm not making it back in basketball, so I have to figure out what am I doing? I work in an internet company in Israel, a startup internet, and Mike tells me what he's doing over here, and then somehow convinced me with the help of my late sister-in-law to come and give it a shot. So I come over at the end of 1997. Mike already has more than a few domain names that are working. We're talking about commoditybrokers.com, commoditiestrading.com, E-Futures, and quite a few more. And I come in 1997, 98, and I'm going to give it a shot, pass my license. At that point, the company is very small. It was probably like the two of us and maybe 2 supporting staff members. And I try to get on the phone with old CME leads. I don't know if you remember those. And I don't know if it's my accent, my personality, whatever it is. I'm like, this is not fun. I don't want to talk to people who do not want to talk to me. So we start focusing on the website. And we were offering 2 booklets, the Opportunities and Risks by the National Futures Association. And I want to say maybe 25 strategies with options. And we had that on the website, and I had internet know-how and background, so I would go in behind the scene and make us appear pretty high on, back then it was Yahoo and Alta Vista, and we're getting leads, and those leads actually want to talk about futures and commodities, and they are interested, and they want to trade. And so we started growing. We hired a couple more people. We started offering one of the first online trading platforms called Leo Web back in the days. It was Leo Web, and then it was PATS, companies like LFG, Aileron, Refco, and a little bit later, PFG. And we're there at the time where futures became more online, much more online. And we had the infrastructure and the clearing arrangements with multiple clearing houses and a good reputation. And that's how we grew from there. It's rare, if at all, that somebody says, hey, I did not get a fill. Send a market order. In the liquid market, you're going to get a fill. You send a limit order, your price went through it, you're going to get a fill. Back then, it was not 100%. Back then, you had to rely quite a bit on the trade desk and take support, and also have access to see, hey, does the client deserve a fill or not deserve a fill? It was not bulletproof as much as nowadays I consider almost all platforms to be close to bulletproof. There always can be some situation, some hiccup, but it's rare. Back then, it was not. That was the main issue. You know, a client says, oh, I traded 20 by 20. Why am I showing I'm long 2 or short 2? and you'd have to go and actually print out the fills and cross them off and go one by one. And then you had to call the desk and see what's going on. Also, if I remember correctly, it was only a few markets that traded electronically in the beginning. A lot of the markets, I think Leo Webb was still printing a paper to go to the pit and get executed there. So there was some of the issues, but it was and that's where you had an advantage because two of my colleagues, Mark O'Brien and John Thorpe, both been in the business for so long that John used to be on the floor and Mark started in Canon trading in the original version back in 92. And they had enough knowledge about the markets, the dynamics of the markets, which order deserves a fill, why doesn't it deserve a fill? Yes, you can be limit up, but you can still get out on a spread. Little ins and outs that I don't think most new commodity brokers even know nowadays that really helped us run a good, smooth operation as we transition to online trading. Back then, I still think not most, but at least 60% of the business was broker assist. Clients talking to us want your advice, or clients just want you to execute for them. They didn't feel comfortable with a computer or didn't feel comfortable placing the trades online. Different type of business. It was not one of our favorites, to be honest. It was not as reliable back then. The look and feel of it, I think, made more sense for people that used to trade on the floor or for people that were locals in Chicago, and not so much for the retail online client. That's what I remember. But we did have some good clients there. There was a period of time that we were working with both Aileron and also RCG. And then MF Global, when they took over Refco, MF Global became a big part of our business. It was brutal. It was brutal first for the clients. We felt for them. It was hard because it consumed us. We were helping clients fill out paperwork, literally helping them walk them through the paperwork to fill out. And we had to try and tell clients that we really believe that they're going to be made whole on their money, which they did. I want to say 99% or so. But it did take some time, and it left a bad taste for clients, left a bad taste for us, for brokers. It definitely hurt our business for a good 2-3 years. And MF Global and PFG were two of the dominant firms back then in the retail business. So a lot of brokers got hurt. The playing field is much different. We're still clearing multiple clearing houses. Gained, which got bought out by StoneX. We clear with Dorman Trading, with Iron Beam, with Phillip Capital. Our systems quite varied. We have our own E-Futures, which is a white label of Gain alt platform used to called OpenECRY or OEC, which is a very nice all-in platform that clients do not have to pay a monthly fee for. We use Sierra charts quite a bit. We use the Iron Beam Fire Tip platform. A lot of R traders, CQG, and then a lot of what I call front ends like Jigsaw, Bookmap, Overcharts, TradingView, third-party platforms that will either ride over CQG or Rhythmic. And so really there's at least 10 plus platforms that clients can choose from. The new thing in the business nowadays is order flow. So you're looking at the different platforms that offer the order flow. That's when it really becomes our strength, is that we can customize a solution for what the client needs. Because a client that want to trade with $2,000 and start with the micros and just day trade is much different than a client that has 7 or 8 figures that, sells options and does position trading and spreads, etc. And then there's a lot in between. So order flow is where clients, for a trader, uses different tools to see where there's offers and bids visually. They can see it on the chart or that specific tool. There's a platform called Quant Tower, Jigsaw, Bookmap. Sierra has the tools to customize order flow. There's Volumetrica, just to name a few. And you can actually see on the charts the thickness of the lines and to see where the limits are for the buy and sell. And then some of those platforms will also show you where stops were after they got triggered, or at least they believe that those were stops. Some of those platforms have algos to show what they believe was iceberg orders. So traders will try to look at it to see where's who's hands on top, the buyers or the sellers. And each platform will have different tools and visuals to share it. and display it. And active traders who are trying to scalp the market will utilize these tools. I guess by now I'm a little bit more of the older school. I'm not the highest believer in order flow because I think it's very tough mentally for a person to just sit there in front of the screen and try to take a few ticks each time. I think they're using a lot of the information that the CME is now making available, which is the market by price or the full order book, meaning you can see the full order book. And then some of them are more sophisticated programmers behind it that also have trading experience that figured out how to guesstimate with a high degree of accuracy that a large stop order was triggered, or that was an iceberg order, or things of that nature. I don't know that it's AI, but I'm not also a programmer. I'm not behind the scenes of those platforms. So in 1998, we were advertising on the website, $11 per side with an asterisk. Asterisk was for exchange fees, platform fees, NFA fees, and we were the lowest ones. I think First American was at 29, something of that nature, or maybe it was a round turn. But back then, the exchange fees were negligible. And as futures became more of a mainstream and more people are trading futures, commissions have shrunk to the point that the exchange fees are usually quite a bit higher than the commission rate for the self-directed online traders, or at least for those active ones. So now you're looking at commissions. The actual commission part is in cents. It can be 70 cents, it can be 90 cents, it can be 30 cents, it can be $1 and change, depending on the platform and whatever is around it. And then you got exchange fees that I want to say for the currencies is like $1.60 a side. For the mini S&P, it's $1.33 a side. So the exchange fees are now a big part of it. And you got the micros. The micros are very small contract. And the relationship between the cost of the micros is not 1/10 of the cost of the E-mini, because there's still hard costs. There's still routing fee, there's still clearing fee. So the relationship is not direct. And luckily for us, there's still value in service. There's still value in knowledge. There's still clients that are not day traders and they're not as price sensitive, and they appreciate the information and service that they get. But it's been a very gradual, it's been the steadiest downtrend ever in the history of commodities. That's like going straight down with no bumps at all. And there's a few key ingredients. The people that we have, the people that we've been here, all of us been here like 7 years together, 10 years together, 15 years together, 22 years together. It sounds cliche, but it's like a family. We know that what's good for us as a company is good for everyone. So if somebody will hear a broker start talking things that they should not be talking, they know that it's our best interest to be like, no, that's not how we do it. That is the first part. The way we train new brokers and the way we educate new brokers, which is not easy for new brokers to make it. We definitely emphasize the compliance. We definitely emphasize what is, how to do it the right way. And then between Mike and myself, the rare times there is a complaint or an issue, we try to really see what's the story, dig into it, dive in, and figure out what is the right resolution. The biggest challenge is hiring younger, qualified brokers. And that is the next step, is to get this younger generation to see how technology is progressing and where the business is going, and try to keep up on that as far as being on top of that. We would really like to provide our clients and prospects with quality education. And it's not easy because it's got to be done properly compliance-wise. And it's not easy because there is no crystal ball. But I think if we can navigate our way in that direction, it will help us.